Good morning, everybody. This is Encounters, the morning show, the daytime show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. Alexa, turn down the music. Alexa, turn down the music. 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. And you're tuned into and watching a show that's out of this world, Encounters, the number one spiritual UFO talk show, on at 11 p.m. at night. Last night we got on at midnight, but normally at 11 p.m. at night. We had a great show last night. My show from last night is on Ashtar Command Spaceship News. We had 2 people that had abduction experiences, and we did some great work with them. The Ashtar Command went in there and took out implants on both of the cases of 2 of the guests. So you can watch that show if you missed it last night, JoJo. Ashtar Command Spaceship News. That show I posted early this morning in the overnight hours when I woke up from being asleep. I posted it, so you can watch the whole show from last night of the 2 abductees that were worked with the space people from the Ashtar Command. So that goes for anybody that might have missed last night's show. Welcome this morning to Encounters. Please share and like. Let people know that we are here. And definitely we're going to do some sharing as well. So please share and like. I'm just doing like a random thing here. And good morning, everyone out there in the world. Good to see you. Grand Rising, JC Essence. X-Visc, Coastal, hey Coastal, good to see you. Senseless, good to see you. Everybody in here, wherever you are, you're here with us here on Encounters. Good morning. Simi87, welcome. Carlos M. Mark Reed. And I must say that I'm very excited. As some of you know, besides doing this radio, not the radio show, but this program, I grow organic heirloom watermelons. And I was at my garden yesterday morning, the microfarming part, and the watermelons are doing great. They're growing. And I'm very excited to have a great watermelon season this year. And all organically grown, infused with light. And so that's just something that I do when I'm not doing this. I do grow watermelons and melons and all kinds of good stuff. Anthony Ross Kennedy, good to see you, brother. Anthony Ross Kennedy, welcome. Karis, everybody out there. Jeremy. And of course, I got my apple cider going here. I gotta get the frog out of the throat, though. That's the only thing. Hey, One Toyota. I did have some coffee this morning, so hey, Marinette, welcome to the show. Good to see you. And we'll be on till about 10:15 this morning. Good morning, Marlene. So this is like a short program, but it's an hour and 15 minutes, so that's not bad. Last night we're on for over 2 hours. We started at midnight. We usually go on at 11. Bobby, let's see, Matt, welcome all the new people. Jessica, good to have you with us. Jenna, Grand Rising, everybody. Greetings, Chesno, good to see you, brother. And I do have an announcement, which I'll make this morning on the show. So we're going to have a Ashtar Command contact gathering in Connecticut. I was in touch with my friend at Madison, Connecticut, which is there's a beach on the Long Island Sound. It's a town beach that we've been graciously able to use. It's just been beautiful. So because they're having weddings and all this stuff, we're skipping August down there, but we're going to try to do something up here in the inland area at the Apple Orchard. So we're going to set a date for a Skywatch at the Apple Orchard, and then in September we're going to have use of the beach, and that's going to be on September 14th. September 14th at 8:30 p.m. I'm going to be making a video of this. I'll have my email for people to contact me directly on email who want to attend. It's going to be a gathering on the Long Island Sound on the Connecticut side, and we'll be right on the water at the beach. And we're going to be doing a Ashtar Command Contact event. That's September 14th. Mark your calendar. September 14th at approximately gathering time 8:30. Parking will be outside the gated area from the beach. And so I'll give more information. Linda, welcome to the show. I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I'm very super excited about the whole thing. No, I don't need to do what the thing is telling me to do. But Echo01 Actual, welcome to the show. For those that are new, we have a group here in New England called the Ashtar Command Contact Group, and our goal has always been to make peaceful contact with our space brothers and sisters. And being over the water, Halloway, good to see you. Blessings. Our goal is to, and we've been doing this for over 11 years, so our C5 group has not just started, we've been doing this stuff for a lot of years. You know, and so if you're in the New England, New York State area, you might consider marking your calendar. You got plenty of time for September 14th, and if you think you can come to our gathering, you'll have to contact me. I didn't make a video yet, but I'm going to do a video and everything. So there'll be a video stated. Hambone healed. Blessings to you as well. Alaka, welcome. Thank you for the share. We appreciate it very much. Last night was a phenomenal show. I did a lot of work with two people that have been abducted. And Alexa, lower the volume. Alexa, lower the volume to 3. Alexa, lower the volume to 2. Alexa, bring up the volume to 3. Okay, there we go. So we have a lot of stuff going on, and more and more for people that are new to the show, I am a contactee. So I had my first contact for new people back in the 60s with spacemen and women who were wearing light blue outfits in a flying saucer type craft with windows and a center of energy coming from the center of the ship. And yes, it was a very beautiful live. It was really intense, and I had a lot of work to do. It was on my first guest, Lenora. I had a lot of work to do with her. They did a job on her, the negative ETs, and we got all the implants out of her. I didn't get anything out of her. The space people took all the implants out of her, and I was thankful that the thing was like a living implant. It wanted to go back into her body. The command took it out, and they destroyed it. They completely destroyed the implant. They had to. I mean, this thing was like, I've never seen anything like this. An implant that was able to physically try to come back into the body. They had to actually destroy the thing. Oh, and there's Missy. Now, she's got water. I gave her fresh water this morning, and she's got a whole bowl of food. So I don't know what she's mowing about. She's probably saying, good morning, everybody. But I know, Mal is right. I know. We have to talk. As soon as I go live, she has to be the center of attention, so she's got to talk, you know? Hey, Nicole, good to see you. I know what it's about. You want to have a conversation with everybody? She has to come over here if I'm going to pick her up, though. But we had an awesome show last night, and the command got those implants out. Which religion is true? No, the only religion that is true is the religion of love. If you have the religion of love, then you've got truth. The only religion I follow is the religion of love. And there's nobody leading that religion. It's just something you know. The religion of love. The space brothers and sisters, they have no religion. There's only one religion, the religion of love. What does that mean? There's no Bibles, there's no books brainwashing you onto what to believe written by men. It's all a matter of direct understanding and connection to the source of all creation. You know, God, universal. What religion is true? No religion is true, except love. And you don't have to go to a church or a temple or mosque to find it. It's all within you, you see. This has been the craziness, hey Brim, of this planet. You know, in current, and this has been throughout every single part of Earth history. The Roman Empire, before the Roman Empire, after the Roman Empire, all these people, all these religious leaders that created these different things were trying to control people on Earth It's been a long-standing thing. We need to control people, so we'll create religions. And if you follow my religion's better than that religion. In space, the spiritual beings of light that live on other planets with their families don't have religions. They don't have books that are religious texts written by people telling you what to do. There's only one religion, and that's the religion of love. Last night, Linda, the show is already uploaded. I uploaded it early in the morning hours. I woke up from sleep, and I did load it up. It's on there now, so people will have access to what happened last night with the two abductees that were separate instances. And it's pretty intense, and you're going to see what happens. So for people that are new to the program here, not only am I a contactee, I will say the word starseed. And the way I define starseed is, a starseed is someone who comes from beyond Earth, from another planetary system, has a human family, a spiritual family on another planet, volunteers to come to Earth and have a human experience, and they end up having human parents, mother, father, cousins, brothers, whatever. So I'm a starseed, but I'm also with the Ashtar Command. I worked in Christ consciousness always, and I am fully activated to send spaceships all over the world. If someone has a really serious situation and they're on my show and I interview them and they've been abducted by ETs that are negative, we will send a spaceship and send command people off the ship to help them and take the implants out. Now, I never used to do this. I mean, when I first came on TikTok, you would do interviews with people, but I've been very humbly blessed by the command. They've downloaded the ability for me to send spaceships all over the world, and not to truly try to explain it, for some people, they might not understand it, but I completely accept the responsibilities of what I'm able to do now. So I do my interviews. I love interviewing people about disclosure, all these things, but I've been humbly blessed to be able to do this work to help people. Zait, how do you take implants out? The command does it. The medical team of the Ashtar Command will go into a situation. They come into the room of the person's home, and we will guide them, about the neck area. There's certain areas they want to do that enters into the body, and they will find the implants and take them out. All I do is facilitate getting the ship to the location. The space people do it. I do nothing other than facilitate helping them that way. Hey, Craigie Bridge, good to see you. So I don't do anything. Well, I do something, but I'm not the one taking any implants out. But I am very comfortable with what I'm doing now. So I know in my show sometimes I have to go into Ashtar Command mode and send a spaceship over somewhere to get the implants out. But the implants mostly are not good. You don't want anyone who implants anything in you is not good. If you have somebody or any group of beings implant something in you, they shouldn't be doing it. If they want to enlighten you, or if they want to give you information, or if they want to uplift you, yes, it's against universal law for anybody to implant anybody. So I don't want people getting the idea that some implants are not bad. You're not supposed to be physically toyed with as a physical being. That's against universal law. You're not supposed to have that happen. Well, if they ask you, but the thing is, most of the people that are of the light beings, most of the star people will not do anything like that. It's negative ETs that go about trying to implant people. You can't go about doing that. It just, it'll confuse people. It'll mix them up. So we don't want to give people the idea that, oh, implants are good. Because if you watched the show last night, implants are not good. The beings that did the implants were not good. And we don't want to confuse people. And I won't do that. It's just not good. If you're going to be enlightened or be given information, you get downloads, but you don't have to get implants. If you're being positively affected by a good group of space people that are enlightened, they will not implant you. They will download information to you, and that's all you need to have happen. No implants. Nada. Implants are not good. Let's see here. Smith Mustang. Let's see here. We're going to bring in recent guest Smith Mustang show before. I was just looking at my guest list here. Hopefully TikTok's working well and we're going to be able to have a conversation. And it's spinning around, so we'll see if TikTok works this morning. Sometimes Here we go. Hey, Smith Mustang, how you doing? Hello? Okay. Are they trying to be on? Hello? Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Well, evidently, that maybe something's weird. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Hey, Sue, good to have you. Linda, everybody. So again, I have to be clear, and Brim, I understand what you're saying, but I don't want to give people the wrong impression. I'm totally against implants. If they're physical implants, no way. That is something that is not agreed upon. And the positive beings, the star people, will never implant anything in anybody's body. They just won't. I've got to be real clear about that. I've dealt with too many people that have been abducted to say that implants are good. Yeah. Hope Love, good to see you. Good morning. And we love to interview people. So the thing is, if you have a story, hey, Johnny, good to see you. Good morning, brother. If you have a story to tell, if you've been having great contacts, if you have disclosure information, if you have, even if you've been abductees, you're welcome to come on the show and come out of the closet and share what happened to you. I'll be happy to talk to you. And also, good morning, everybody coming out there. So it's really important that we love to find out what's going on. If you've been recording spaceship sightings or UFO sightings, we want to know about that. Excuse me. I got to set my goals up here too. Also, I'm very much encouraging people to support the program, and more, I sometimes forget to do that, but your support really does help in all the work we do at night with these shows. It takes a lot of work to do these shows most nights, and once in a while I'll take a night off, but I'm on here pretty dedicated most nights since last year. And any support, people that can do TikTok gifts or even my Venmo account, go to my Venmo, my Cash App. There's a link at the end of the show if you wish to do that. Go to my link and please make a donation. I'll leave it up to you. Whatever the universe tells you to donate, please do it. That's my Venmo app link on my main page. And my email, I will put my email in there. So you have it. So my email address here is CmdR, and I just posted it to reply to your comment. Right. That's exactly right, Prim. So I would recommend never telling anybody when you go live or anything that an implant is good. If it's physically put into you, it's no good. There shouldn't be any implanting. Means implanting something into a human being. No human should have anything implanted into them. If you're dealing with positive people or positive star people, they will never, ever put a physical implant in you. That's just the truth. So if anyone here has a story to tell, you have to be over 18. No kids on the show, no vaping, no smoking, no cursing, no drunks, no drinking of any sort. And we'd love to have you on. I'm a professional broadcaster by nature. I've been doing radio since the 70s when I was in Vermont, and for 21 years in Connecticut, a show called Ashtar Command Radio, The Cosmic Eye, dedicated to our space brothers and sisters. So no parties. Yeah, that's true. There's no parties. Welcome, Jen, to the show. Donna, good to see you. And usually my morning shows could vary. It's not, because I'm on during the night. I have more than a couple hundred people watch my show all over the world at night. Mornings I come in sporadically, so there might not be as many people watching. But we do have, but you're getting to see that for me for the first time, I am a talk show host. I am also a starseed. I work with the Ashtar Command, and I'm a contactee. So I have a lot going for me. I have a lot of knowledge on the subject. I'm not a newcomer. I'm not somebody just learning about ETs. I am part of that whole thing. When I say starseed, greetings, Len. I come from the stars. I am having the human experience like everybody else, and but I have a multiple consciousness, a Christ consciousness, and which is connected solely on that level of light with the Ashtar Command. I work with the Ashtar Command, and I'm here on Mission Earth to bust the Matrix, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So welcome to the show. If you're new, Any information Lady Wolf says about insectoids, star seeds. I don't have a lot of information about insectoids, star seeds. I don't think there's many of them. I think most of the star seeds come to Earth come from a human perspective, meaning they come from star people that are about 7, 8, 9 feet tall and that are human. But I don't know of many people that are insectoids coming to Earth into the human form. I have not heard too much about that. Pray for peace, Austin Artist. Welcome to the show. The cat is coming in. What's going on with you? Hello there. Hello there. I know, wow. I think she wants to go outside. So I'm going to let her go outside for a little bit. Give me a minute. And we'll let her go. So I had to translate cat language. Cat language is she wants to go on the porch, open the door. She'll probably go outside and sit on a chair or something. Let me see. I'm trying to read the, hey, good to see you. Yeah, the Anunnaki are part of the Ashtar Command. Speaking of the Anunnaki, they also are part of the galactic levels of the Ashtar Command, and all the different star beings work together. So the Ashtar Command would be like the galactic United Nations of all the different countries in the world, and they all work together in one. There's different councils and so forth, but they all work together. Just Life Okay, welcome to the show. And all the people just finding our show, good morning. Glad to have you with us here on Encounters. And, I have a lot of information. I will definitely share things. How is it no one sees these ships? Oh, a lot of people do. People are documenting more of the light ships, the spaceships, every day. Matter of fact, on my main page, you'll see a lot of video of a lot of these different types of ships that are positive, and people are starting to record them. Harmon, something, Joey, hey Joey, good to see you. So there's more and more of these ships decloaking themselves so people can actually record them. It really is a matter of taking time. If you're not looking up at the sky, you're not seeing anything. But if you go up at the sky at night, you spend 2 or 3 hours in a quiet place where it's clear, you will, if you meditate, see some of these ships. Dee says, the day before my friend saw one. Oh, interesting, Dia. Interesting. So they're definitely out there. There's going to be more and more of these what you call UFO non-terrestrial spaceships appearing all over the place, and more people are going to see them between now and next year. Yeah, and the vibration, like Prim said, it depends on the vibrational levels. Like if you're vibrating at a certain frequency where the ships are, you will be able to see them. Yes, Joe and Paul, I do remember you. Good morning. Super, good morning, Super. Welcome to the show. Arthur, welcome to our show Encounters. I'm usually on at nighttime for new people. Chantel, 11 o'clock usually at night. We usually have a couple hundred people watching our late night show. Changed color late in the night. Interesting. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. If you have a story to tell out there, and wherever you are in the world, if you have a story regarding your encounter, I'd love to know about it. Again, you have to be over 18, no children on the show, no cursing, no drugs, no drinking. I'll wait till that truck goes by. The cat went out. So, yeah, it's usually late night when you see me. So I'm trying to do some morning shows for people that normally don't know who I am, to just get people used to the fact that there is an actual professional show on the subject. And so if you'd like to come on and have a story, if you've been abducted, had beautiful contact physically with space people of light, you can come on. You just have to press the multi-guest option, and I'll bring you on the screen here. If you've had if you're documenting UFO sightings or had a lot of visual stuff happening around your area, let us know about it. We want to hear the story. So, and how many people out there, and I'll ask this question, are having contact? How many people out there are having physical contact? I usually do that on every show. It gives me an idea for people that are really quiet here watching, that some of you definitely have to have contact. Oh, thank you, Brim. So if you have never ever gone public about your contact, well, a lot of trucks going by. If you've never had directly spoken about your contact, now's the time to do it. If you've never had contact with space people, you need to learn how to do it the proper way. There is a proper way and a non-proper way. The proper way is to use the C5 app, which Dr. Greer created. If you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, you can get the app downloaded and read the protocol of contact. If you've never had contact, you want to do a thing called CE5. I'd recommend it to all 92 people. Out of the 92, so some of you already know it. But for the many that do not know how to make positive contact, the C5 app is available on Google Play. And if you have an iPhone, it's Apple. You download the app. It's like $9.99. But there'll be a protocol you'll follow. And as long as you follow the protocol and do that, you'll have positive interaction visually with space people of light in terms of the ships. And maybe down the road, you might have contact. So all the people that have never, ever had anything happen, do you really want to have some really beautiful things happen? Download the CE5 app. It's C like in Charlie, E like in Earth 5. CE5 it's called. You can get the app downloaded on your Apple thing or on your Google, Google Play. If you have Android phone, Google, Apple if you have an iPhone. CE5. I want everyone to get it because I want to, down the road, if you practice using it, you'll have some beautiful things happen. Lady Wolf, you're very welcome. Have you seen gray-headed armored insectoid beings? No. So Big Lori, have you seen gray-headed armored insectoid beings? Since you brought the question up, I think you know a little bit about it. So have you? Okay, I want to bring you up. I'd like to bring you up as a guest, and I'd like you to tell me what's going on with that. This is how I do my show, folks. When I hear stories like that, I got to bring the person up. Big Blurry, good to see you. Welcome to Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
And whereabouts are you located?
I'm by Chicago.
Okay, great. And I never heard of this. Can you explain what they are?
This makes me very nervous. This brings back a lot of PTSD. This, changed my life. So I hate talking about it, but someone needs to know because I know other people have seen it. So,
well, I'm going to help you here. Once I know what's been going on, what they did to you, if you're new to my show, I do some really interesting stuff here to help people. But go ahead. I want to hear the story. So does everybody else.
We were all sleeping and we seen bright lights outside. I mean, so bright that it's like 1,000 suns. So it woke me up. I'm a light sleeper. So it woke me up. I ran down. I said, look up in the sky to my wife. It seemed everyone was in a trance except for me. They're like, oh, It's nothing. And they're looking straight at a UFO above us. I mean, and it was huge. It was probably 3-4 miles wide. And I don't even know what shape it was. That's how big and low it was. So they're all like, no, it's nothing. It's just lights in the skies. I was like, am I the only one seeing this? So I ran outside barefoot. So I started running down the road to where I seen lights, it was moving very slowly, but it's so big, it might have been me moving fast, I don't know. But I went about a block down the road and there it was. I was hiding because I seen it. It was in this like little wooded area. And so I was barefoot. So I was like, I got to hide from this thing. It was like just standing there in this like wooded area hiding. And I was like, why is it hiding? And then I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to walk on the street and see what happens. Because I'm curious and I'm outgoing. So I'll do stuff like that. Crazy, but I did.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was in my head saying, help me, help me, help me. And I was like right by it, but I wasn't. I was still like, 100 yards away. But it felt like I was face to face with it. And it was like, help me, help me. They're trying to get me. And I was looking at it and it had like this gray armor. It was like on its head. It looked like a gray alien, but it was flat on the top, and it had two like antennas sticking out on the sides. And its eyes were on the side, not like a normal gray. It was like flattened, on the top by the forehead back. And it had two indentations running on the side by like it's where its ears would be. They were indented like ovals.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, and then all of a sudden I sucked back into my body, and there was police everywhere.
Really?
I mean, yes, they were everywhere. And where I live, you can see I'm like kind of on top of a hill, and you can see about a mile away to where the grocery stores are and stuff.
Yeah.
And about a half a mile, I would say, about a half a mile, maybe 2,500 feet, something like that. But anyways, so it went in my head again, and I could see a half a mile down the road. Like it was like projecting things in my head, and I could see all the cops coming towards it, and it was like, help me. But I'm still 100 yards away. I'm scared and I'm frozen.
Right.
So when the police get to this, they look like police, but they were, I don't know what they were. They looked like police, and they were stopping traffic. They were telling people.
But they weren't police. I know that, but go ahead.
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. I knew that. But they did look like police. They had police squads. They had, it even had the name of our town on it. And I was like, it was different though. That was not our cars. And I was like, something's not right. So, but I already knew something wasn't right anyways. So I was still barefoot, and the barefoot thing is going to come into play. Okay. So I wound up running closer towards it to try to help it. I was like, you know what? Who cares what happens? Oh, well, it seems in distress. Even if it's not, so what? And if I die, so what? Oh, well, because that's how I am. I don't take life seriously because I know something's going to happen anyways. You're going to die eventually. But that's just how I look at life. So I just ran towards it. And when I did that, they stopped me. The police saw me stopping me. They stopped me and they said, you can't go by it. You can't go by it. It's dangerous. It'll hurt you. And I was like, it's not going to hurt me. It was just asking for help. I'm trying to talk to these people, they're controlling the whole narrative, but I'm trying to explain to them what I'm doing there, and they're not having none of it. So a couple people are out of the trance. The whole town's like in a trance. There's like 50,000 people. And they're just driving by. They're not even looking at anything. And I'm like, this is really weird. So they stood us up in a line, right? There was about 7 of us that were out of the trance that knew what was happening. So they stood us up in a line, and a couple of them had guns because they were going to shoot the thing. They were afraid. I wasn't. So the cops nimbly just took the guns out of their hands. They couldn't do anything. We couldn't do anything. So I'm trying to make it short, but it was not short. This was like 10, 15 minutes. So anyways, so I'm in the line, and they put a blinker in my eye. They said, everyone look into this thing, just like the Men in Black. It was just like that. And they shot the first guy in the eye, and he just went into somewhere. I don't know where he went. I was like, fuck. I'm screwed. I'm never going to remember this.
Yeah, we
so
just
they
have
did
to
the next.
They did the next, but that's it.
Okay. Sorry. But they did the next guy. That's what I was thinking in my head. Sorry.
Yeah,
and
that's all right.
They did the next guy, and when they came to me, I blinked. Just enough.
You blinked.
Yes, so I couldn't catch the full ray, and it worked.
Okay.
And it worked. So they went back, but they went through it again. And I was like, oh, no. So I turned my head to look at how everyone was acting. And when I turned my head, if I wouldn't have turned my head, I would have been fine. But when I turned my head, they said, oh, look at Sarge. We got a tough guy here. Tough guy. Come on, tough guy. Come over here. And I just was like pretending I was like stuck, like they were. And they go, we know you're not stuck. We know you're not stuck. Here you go. Now we're going to open your eyes. And now you're really going to feel it. So they opened my eyes and they plucked me. All of a sudden, I'm in my room, right? And I wake up a few hours later, and I keep telling myself, don't forget this, don't forget this. But I know I'm going to forget. It's like they drugged me.
Right.
So I went to the bathroom in the morning. My wife wakes me up and goes, why is there mud all over the bed? And I go,
Oh my God.
I don't know. So I ran to the bathroom, and right when I was rinsing off my feet, it was almost all the way up to my knees. And I was like, what the hell? And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, I remember things like my dreams. I remember I'm going backwards. You know how you take the last thing that you
Yeah.
remembered in a dream, and then you go
Yeah.
back. That's what I did. And I remembered everything. I went backwards, and it was like a dream to me, but it was real. There was mud. That's how I knew what happened. Anyways, that's my story.
So no, there's a lot. I have a lot of questions. So that spaceship, how big was that ship when you got close enough to see it?
I couldn't even. It was miles big.
It was really big. And
Huge.
these fake police officers that had the fake cars and everything, in your town, they were not. We already know just from hearing your story that they obviously were not your regular police officers.
Well, not
correct?
that. Well, because there was hundreds of cars. We don't even own that many.
Right. So they had these devices where they did what Men in Black do in the movie. They had some sort of device that they'd shoot it at the person's face or eyes, and they'd forget the whole thing. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. And I've never heard a story like this, but on my show here, this is what we want to hear. This is disclosure. This is what disclosure is. It's people like yourself coming forward and sharing this, because these things obviously are happening and have happened. And so about the being that was being surrounded, asking for help, they were talking to you telepathically in your consciousness.
Yes.
And they were asking you for help, and they were surrounded by all these fake police people that were most likely working with a level of our government in the United States, probably a level of our government that deals with going out and doing stuff like this. And that's pretty massive. So the being with the shield on, did you get any your impressions of the being? Were they wearing some sort of a spacesuit?
It looked like a suit to me, but it looked like it was part of them too. It looked like armor, because the body was flaily. It was really like, it's like the body. There was no way the body could have held it up. So it was like, I don't know what it was, but it looked real. And at first I thought it was, but it sucked me in. Like, I was still 100 yards away. So when it sucked me into it face to face, I knew it wasn't. I saw every part of it, and it was just, it was very scary.
So when you say it sucked you in, how does that happen? You're barefoot. You're getting close to it yourself. How was it? When you say suck you in, was it making you go closer? Did you physically go closer to it because it was like mentally getting you to say you need to come closer and help me?
I don't know. It felt like it was my mind, not my body. That's the way it felt, because I got sucked back into my body, and that's when I was still far away from it. So I don't know if actually, that's a good point. I never thought of that. So I don't know if it actually did maneuver me, or if it just manipulated my mind to bring my mind close. You know what I mean? I don't know.
This is really interesting, because hundreds of these cars come out of nowhere. You live in a relatively small town in Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay, so you live in a small town outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
And your police force is what? 50, 20, 30?
Maybe, some between 30 and 50, somewhere around
30
there.
and 50. When all these police cars showed up and all these so-called police officers showed up, how many did you see there surrounding this being?
They were kind of keeping back from it. They had a line to stop traffic and I was on top of the hill where you could look down to the stores down there, about a half a mile. And they had that main road blocked off, steering traffic away. And then they had where my road was, they had that blocked off too. So
really? So,
yes.
So they were blocking all the roads off in your small town, so nobody can come close enough to see what was going on. And people in your community must have been aware that there was this UFO or spaceship over your town, correct?
They had to be. But like I said, no, it was so weird. It was like everyone was walking and talking, but they were sleeping. It was like me and only a few other people when I was in that line. It was like only out of all these people that drove
Yeah.
by, and it was only us. I was like, this is ridiculous, you know?
No, it's definitely an amazing story. There's a space being, the being that was being surrounded by these other beings. Did you feel that these fake police people were human government agents, or do you think they were some sort of extraterrestrials?
I don't know. I felt like they were human. And
Hmm.
the funny thing is, when I look back, I really couldn't see the other people. I knew there was a bunch of people there, but I only could see. See, I didn't think about this. These are good
Hmm.
questions. See, no one's ever asked me this stuff because whenever I tell my story to my family, they think I'm crazy.
No,
So
they don't understand. I ask questions.
I just don't, they don't ask questions. So I was just like, you know what, forget it. They probably thought it was a dream, so I just
Hmm.
forget about it. It's been
Yeah.
almost 20 years now. So,
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm fascinated by it. So is my audience. So the being that was the
wait, hold
no,
on.
the
No,
not
it hasn't. My daughter was one. So it's been 13 years. Sorry.
13 years. Okay, so the being that was being surrounded in what you call the armor, what I would call some sort of a elaborate spacesuit it was wearing.
Yeah.
Did you feel the being was negative, or what did you feel? What did you feel about the being?
I felt that it escaped and that it needed help finding cover, that people were coming after it. And if I didn't soon run to it, that they were going to get them.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
it didn't feel like a he or a she when
Hmm.
we melded minds. It more felt like neither. It felt
Neither.
neither. Yeah, neither.
Okay.
It was just
Okay.
kind of when it talked to me in my head, it
Hmm.
was high pitched, but not
High
male.
pitch.
It was weird. I can't explain
Hmm.
it, but
Yeah.
when it talked to me in my head, like help us, it was like more than one voice, I suppose, maybe two or
Hmm.
three, like help
So,
us,
so do
like
you
that.
think it was saying help us because number one, the ship was there. The ship you say was huge in the small town above you. The
Yeah.
being was saying help us, not help me.
And
Was
you
it
know
saying
what?
help us
I never
or
thought
help
about
me?
that. Yeah, it's no, it said it was both. It was kind of like
Hmm.
both, like help me, and then in the background, like a main voice. See, no one's ever asked me questions like this. This is
Yeah,
fascinating.
I
It,
ask all these questions. Yeah.
the particular thing was saying help me, but there was voices in the background saying help us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. So it was physically there. Obviously, if there's a
Yes.
big ship above your small little town in Illinois, there's
Yeah.
got to be many, many space beings on that ship.
Maybe. Maybe.
And if it's physically apparent that it's physical, not cloaked, then the military or the government can probably, on radar tracking, they probably tracked it over your town
Right.
because it wasn't cloaked. So
Right. And
this
yeah.
being
Go
comes
ahead.
off the ship, and all of a sudden these government people or whatever they are surround this particular being in this armor or spacesuit, and he's saying,
Right.
"Help us, help me."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you are the people that don't want you to know anything do something to you, and you're back in your bed filled with mud.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm listen. I listen very carefully to my interviews, and so I believe they somehow were able to
I'm
get
shaking
you
right
back.
now. I'm
Yeah, get you
shaking.
back. Yeah. So what they did to you was wrong. Number one, the government people that were involved, and maybe some of them weren't human, and
Yeah.
maybe others were. I think it was a mixture of those people in those
Okay.
police cars. Some of them were definitely human. There's a level of our government that does this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've ever heard a physical story about this. I've watched the movie Men in Black.
Yeah.
You always wonder where they get the storyline for something like that. Now
Yeah.
you're telling this story.
Yeah.
I completely can understand that we have probably a group within the government that goes out and does this. The physically
Yeah.
goes out if this situation occurs, and they're able to see the uncloaked ship. No matter what the space being is, this is what they will do.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is what they'll actually be able to do. So,
Yeah.
did you feel when the being was asking you for help
Yeah.
that it sincerely was asking for help? And how did you end up being the one that it was asking for help for?
I um I don't know what relevance this has, but my dad was abducted when he was younger. He
Really?
saw, yeah, we told us stories. We always heard, oh God, this sounds crazy. We've always heard, I have videos of like shadow people. I have a
Mm-hmm.
video of my mom. She died.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
anyways, we've always been spiritual and we don't conform. We just
Right.
do what we have to do to survive. We're not, you know what I
Right.
mean? We're just normal people and we try to
Right.
just leave everybody alone. And
Mm-hmm.
somehow things like that don't want to leave us alone. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We try to leave people alone and it seems like
Right.
those things come in, you know?
So let me ask you a
It's,
question. When you say those things don't want to leave us alone, since you had that about 13 years ago when that event happened,
yeah,
I want to stick with that for a minute.
yeah,
So the being that you felt wasn't male or female, when
yeah.
it called for help, uh, were you sensing anything about it? Was it, do you feel that it was a positive being or a negative being?
I felt that it was both. Like it was very
Hmm.
positive, but
Mm-hmm.
negative also. I felt like the negative part was coming from it being scared and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
wanting to get away and trying to
Yeah.
reach out to someone who could, like throw its mind at. That's the way it
Okay.
felt. And I was
It
the
was
only one
only,
running, or walking
right.
around. I was the only
Mm-hmm.
one and that could
It
see
noticed
it.
you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was the only one that could
So
really like see it. Like
so it
no
wouldn't
one
be
else could see it.
so it wouldn't be a negative thing if it's afraid. That's just its fear is not negative. Its fear is like a human fear of
Right.
something that
Yes.
now when if you're from another world and you're now on the ground level and there's this big ship and you have all these so-called fake police with their ability to make everybody forget things, you would be afraid too. You're saying, why are they all surrounding me? I didn't come here to do anything other than it,
Exactly.
it might
That's
have
what
had
I was
a different purpose to
that's
maybe
what I was
communicate with a
wondering.
human being.
I was going to go talk to it and say what's going on, because
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just not.
yeah, right.
And maybe that's what it sensed. I don't know. I can't be sure,
Hmm.
but all I
Yeah,
know is that it saw me, I saw it, and then all of a
hmm,
sudden it sucked me in. And we were
yeah.
face to face.
Well, because I'm getting it probably thought that you could be the one to help it, but you couldn't because you had all these other things with their
Yeah.
whatever kind of laser or thing they did to make people forget.
Yeah.
They finally got to do you, and they figured out you weren't whatever they shot into a person's face at their eyes to make them
Yeah.
blank out. You weren't the one to be blanked out, but then they did blank you out, and then you're back
Eventually.
in your house. However that works, which is kind of weird, but.
It
So after
is.
that experience happened, I have to feel that you've had other experiences. You said your dad was an abductee.
Yeah.
Has there been other experiences since then that you've had?
Not that I can recall.
Okay,
I
right.
don't. I feel things, but no, I haven't
Okay,
been.
all
I
right,
haven't had
all right.
contact since then.
Okay. The only thing I would have done if you told me you were abducted or something,
Yeah.
then I would have been asking you for me to help you do something else with our space people. But I don't feel that, so you would never abducted. But my concern is that the government agents of this group that came in to surround this ET being
Yeah.
were really going in there to blank everybody out in your small little town in
Yeah.
Illinois that were seeing this big, massive spaceship that
Yeah.
you said was really big above your community. How high up was the ship? Do you know?
Maybe 500 feet to 1,000 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And
And
obviously, yeah, go ahead.
no, and at that height, you would think it's far away, but it was so huge that no matter where you looked in the sky, like downwards to a
Yeah,
horizon, it
yeah,
was everywhere. It
yeah,
was enormous.
yeah. Then, and obviously, the ship was not cloaked, therefore, it'd be easy for military radar to track it, and then the government can go in there and try to do a clean sweep to
They
make
got
sure
there.
everybody.
They got there quick because right. I mean, right when I was, he saw me and we still had time to communicate, but they were on that. Like, they were on it fast.
Yeah, yeah, they would work. The government would work pretty quickly. The Kecksburg incident, many years ago, if people are familiar with that, in a small town in Kettsburg, Pennsylvania, an acorn-type craft, which was not miles long, but crashed in the woods. The military went in there with a flatbed. The people were seeing this thing, and they were told to leave. And if you watch any documentaries of Kettsburg, not the same situation as yours, but they did have military and police go in there and take the thing out. In your case, you had probably a black op operation that is connected with doing retrieval of either non-terrestrial beings and non-terrestrial craft. Well, they couldn't take the craft out because the spaceship is in the air. They're not going to do anything to the spaceship, but they knew it was there. And you'll never know if that being that was calling for your help. I have to assume that they actually got the being and probably took it with them in a special vehicle.
I still worry about that being. I still wonder about it.
Yeah. So they probably took the being, and this is my hypothesis, is that they took the being and they took it to wherever they take a space being of any sort, and they probably were interrogating it, and who knows what else they were doing. But again, what these black ops were doing is against universal law. Again, in this situation, now you have, again, exactly what I'm talking about. Our government goes in to situations like what you're talking about, and this is the clearest indication of, that we are a hostile, we have not all humans are hostile, but the people involved in these programs to go after space beings, regardless of who they are, and surround them, and the beings telepathically asking you for help, and you're only one person. There's nothing you can do because now he's surrounded by all these people.
And I'm surrounded too now.
Right, you're surrounded. So they surround you also, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is what I mean. This is why we have to stop this stuff. This is why I'm like, when I hear this stuff going on, I've never heard a story like this.
Yeah.
Our government, people say, well, who are the negative ETs? Look at our Earth population and look about the negativity. You don't have to worry about negative ETs taking over the planet Earth because the negative ETs are right on our planet.
Yeah, they're us.
Let's be honest now. Let's be honest. People say, well, we got to shoot the weapons at the negative ETs, which are not negative, who are the star people, are trying to help us. I work with the star people. I know what's happening. We are very hostile government, very hostile secret operations on our planet.
I do have 2 other abduction cases where I was abducted, but one of them was with my daughter, and I don't want to talk about that one because I have to get her permission first because she is very PTSD about that. But we were together. But anyways, there was another one. I don't like talking about this stuff. I feel like people are listening right now. You know what I mean?
The people here are very, very. Now if you've been abducted.
Yeah.
And I do want to hear, I want to help you because I work with the Ashtar Command. Have you heard of the Ashtar Command?
No.
Okay. The Ashtar Command is the opposite of negative ETs and what these other people did in our government with this other being. I come from the stars. I come from Mars originally. I came here, and when I was a kid, I had contact with space people in the 1960s I went upstairs to my kitchen. My brother and my mother, father were downstairs. I just felt the need to go up. I went to my brother's room, opened the wooden blinds in the cul-de-sac, and saw a spaceship, a saucer-type craft with men, women, and young adults wearing spacesuits. And they were telepathic, very beautiful, loving people. And that was my first connection to star people because I didn't come from here, but I didn't realize it until I got older. So
that's what happened to me too. You don't realize
had
what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your case, you did. So I would like to help you. It's like I'm going to be on till near about 10:15, 10:20. I would like to help you.
Okay, the abduction I had though each time wasn't negative. They weren't negative.
Well, that's not an abduction. That's a contactee experience. So we have to switch the wording around. You had a contactee, not an abduction. So tell us about the contactee experience.
Well, I mean, I'm new at this stuff, so
I know.
Like when abduction, I just use that term. I didn't even know. You're right, I guess, but when I look back at the word, what it really means, abduction means, taken against your will. But I mean, everyone uses that word when they're talking about extraterrestrial. So I just,
I'm going to switch around. Use the word contactee, because if you're abducted and they implanted you and put you on a table, that's called an abduction. If you didn't have that happen, then you're a contactee.
Okay. So what happened was, the first time that I remember was, they took me. I lived in the same town as the one that this happened in. But this was years earlier, before I met my wife now. I was probably 18, maybe 17. They thought I was a kid. I think I'm an adult at 17, 18. They didn't see me that way. They thought I was a child, like a baby. Right. They brought me aboard, and I willingly went on. And I was playing with their child, which, I asked them how old they were. And the child was like, I don't know, like 50. He said something like that, like 55.
55.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not a child. He's like, no, I'm a child. And we weren't talking like that. We were talking, through our minds. And
consciously, telepathy. Yeah.
And I could see when we're leaving the earth, and I could see the earth. And I was like, I'm getting scared. He's like, don't worry. We do this all the time. You don't have to worry. And I'm like, well, I'm scared. And he's like, well, do you want to go home? And I looked out the window and I was like, no, I'm good. I trust you guys. He goes, okay, good. So what human toys do you want to play with? So we're playing with human toys. And I'm like, this is kind of, redundant for me. I don't really play with toys anymore. I kind of into this and this. And he goes, well, I can't do those things yet, even though I understand them. And I'm like, why? You're 50 something years old. He's like, that's not how it works. And I was like, well,
interesting.
This is weird. It's like, I'm 17 or 18, at the time. I'm like, I'm an adult,
Right.
So I don't know where we're going, but we're going fast. We are all of a sudden there, and they're planning. And what it is, it's like a mirror of ours. There's streets, there's, towns, there's everything. And I don't know if this is the only way I can explain it. It felt like my world, but it was like in black and white. So, but it had colors and things, but it was like soft. Do you know what I mean? They were like very soft colors, very, very soft.
What did they look like? Can you explain what the kid looked like?
These were different. These were different than the armored ones. These were more elongated. Like they still had that forehead. Like the classic alien they show. That's not how they look. The ones I've been in contact with. Yeah. Their forehead goes straight back. Do you know what I mean? Like their head is big, but it goes straight back. Like they have it looks like they have a huge forehead, really. Right, and it's bulbous underneath the back where their brain is,
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a plate, in the front. And then, the brain kind of like hangs in the back, I guess.
Right. So they had like the Egyptians show structures like that, elongated, like a cone almost.
Yes, that's exactly what it looked like. Exactly.
So they're very ancient. Those are very ancient space people of some sort. They're very interesting. Continue.
So I told them what I eat. It's like I was being. It was like they already knew everything, but they were asking my opinion. Like, what would you like to do? And I'm like, this is weird. Why are I could sense that they knew everything, and that they could do everything. But it was like, why are they asking me? Maybe they respect me. Maybe, this isn't real. Maybe I'm hallucinating. And then the guy goes, what do you want to eat? He brought me out of that thought. And I was like, beef. And this is the really weird, this is the weirdest part about the whole thing. It's like they didn't know. They brought a cow's head that was cooked. I told them how to cook it, and for how long. But they didn't bring me the muscle of the animal. They brought me the head.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
And it wasn't scary. It was like they just didn't know. And that's what it felt like to me. And I was like, I can't eat this. This is not the beef I was talking about. And then I showed them a picture, and they go, well, we can cook that for you now. We're sorry. And they took it away. I go, I just want to go home now. And they sensed my fear, and they're like, okay, well, do you want to remember this or not? And I was like, just parts, just the good parts maybe, or some of it. And they're like, okay, no problem. so do you want it to feel like this, or which way? And I was like, how can they do any of this, first of all?
Right.
And second of all, I want to remember this, but I don't want to remember some things. And they go, fine.
Right.
All of a sudden I'm in my bed, I'm awake, I'm still very tired, even though I slept 10 hours. It felt like I slept 10 hours, but I'm exhausted.
Now I have to go to work. So the space people, and in this case, it's not an abduction contactee. You had, in many cases, your mind was not at their level of consciousness. Right. And they also didn't. And also, even though they're advanced, sometimes they don't understand what a human being wants in terms of the way we live, because they don't live the same way we do. They don't eat the same things we do. I would assume, and I'm not assuming this, that they're probably vegetarians. But in your case, they were able to try to give you things that represent your Earth life, that can make you more comfortable on their spaceship. So the spaceship, what did the spaceship look like?
I wasn't in the whole thing. It was small, but it for some reason it got bigger when we were inside, but it was still kind of small. So we were like in a like kind of like a seating position. You know what I mean? There was like a little floor that we could play on. Me and the young, but I considered old. Alien.
Now, did you see the 50-year-old kid that he said I was a kid? Did you see
he was like a baby. They considered him like a baby.
Now, did you see any male and female adults on the ship?
I didn't see them, but they were like, I don't know how to say it, like cloaking themselves. I didn't see them until we got where we were. I didn't see them until we got where we were. I knew it was a male and a female, and I knew the kid was a male.
So that was their kid. Can you describe what the male and the female looked like when you got to see them?
No, the male wouldn't show his face. He hid it from me. He hid that from my mind. Maybe, I don't know what that was about, but the female kind of looked like a 50s housewife.
Really?
Like like when she was cooking, in the stove, and
so
stuff like that.
So we say 50s housewife, like humanoid, like us?
Yes, but her head was like different. She looked different than the child. Hers eyes were more in the front. His were more on the side. So hers was more in the front and more bulbous, her eyes, and her head was smaller than her son's.
Okay. All right.
And she kind of had like these, not dreadlocks, but things hanging, from the back of her head. They look like dreadlocks, but that's probably not what they were.
There was something else. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that one. Wow, man, I'm telling you, Big Blurry, your story.
I'm still shaking.
I know you're shaking, but I am actually so happy you came on my show for the first time in your life. If you're going to do anything, this is the show to be on, because we're very supportive of people like yourself. We don't joke around about things like this. We don't, this is not a show for skeptics. I've dealt with so many people in my years of radio. I've interviewed some really well-known people, and I'm just so happy you came on. My audience, I'm sure, is happy. And it's getting about 10:15.
Yeah, so, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You were an exclusive interview on purpose because of your story. I don't put timelines on things. That's not the way I interview people. If I did that, I would never get to the truth of the story. So I can't. I've been on radio for a long time. So
I'm going to follow you. I don't follow too many people, but I'm going to follow you. And then how do I contact
I'm following you? Easily. Yeah, you can contact me on Facebook. You can contact me on TikTok. I'm following you. So all you have to do is message me, and I'll message you back. And I'm following you. Definitely. You're now a friend of the show. Okay. And I'm on usually at night at 11 o'clock. I'm not always on in the morning. So I try to do some morning shows here. My big shows at night, I have hundreds of people watching at night. So
you're more of the, I'm Central Time, so you're Eastern then.
We're East Coast, so you're Central Time. So I'm on at 10 o'clock Central, which is 11 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Are you going to be on tonight or?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be on tonight. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, This is the first time that I've really said anything to anybody outside my family.
Well, and you should feel a lot less nervous because you now know who interviewed you. I treated you with respect, and that's what I do with all my guests. I've dealt with the people that have been taken on ships that were contactees on actual spaceships with space people of light. I've had people that have been abducted. I've had to deal with their stories and help them. Your story is very interesting. There's so many layers to it about the being that was in being asking for help. That part of your first story, and then being willing to come out of the closet and share the contactee story with this family that took you on their ship with their kid who's 50 years old in Earth age, but is a kid, and then there's a mom and a dad. I thought that was fascinating. That's an amazing story. It really is.
I just found it weird. One more thing before I go, or before you go. It's just fascinating how they can change things to their will. It just seems, it's just so fascinating that they can do that. It's just like in a blink of an eye, just whatever you want.
Absolutely. And you're dealing with very advanced beings that are from beyond Earth, and in their planetary systems, they don't live the same way and have the same culture as we do on our planet Earth.
Right.
So, Sonny Mill, you can hear the story again, Sonny. For people that missed it, this show is being recorded. It'll be on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. Some point today, it'll be downloaded, or by tonight, it'll be on my YouTube channel. You'll go to Astro Command Spaceship News. I'll repeat it again, YouTube, Astro Command Spaceship News. You'll see all my shows there. This show will be on there sometime today, and you'll be able to watch the full show of my interview with Bigflurry regarding everything that he talked about here today. Bigflurry, thanks for being here. What's your first name?
My name's Scott.
Scott, nice to meet you, Scott. We're now friends, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you found the show.
Thank you. It was definitely refreshing. So thank you.
Yeah. No, now you don't have to be nervous anymore, and you're gonna love my show because we do a lot of interviews here. We share a lot of information. I have a friend of mine. We do a thing on Saturday nights called Ashtar Command Contact Q&A. I work with the Ashtar Command, which are the positive space people, and there's a whole story behind that. And my friend April in Vermont and I, we work together. She does her own lives. If you ever get to hear her lives, her name is Friendship with Fairies 1111 people. When she's live, check her out. She'll talk about, she's documented everything, and she has been on the Ashtar spaceships over probably near 50 times already. And we're getting ready for big contact, and I'm part of a project with the command. I'll get into that. I always try to tell people a little bit about that during my lives. But thank you for being here. Taz, good to see you, brother. Taz, always good to see you, brother. You're doing some great work. And we'll be back on tonight. Excuse me. So I want to bless you, brother. Thanks for being here. And what a terrific story. Thank you for actually sharing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. And Angel says, I need to say something, please. I'm going to take you down real quick. And I got to get out of here in like a few minutes. Let me just do this. Angel, I'll bring Angel up here. I'll take a minute to bring Angel up here for a minute before we have to split out of the scene on TikTok. Angel, welcome. Good morning. As soon as TikTok stops going that circular thing with the blue dot and the, hey, Angel, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I only have like a minute or two, but go ahead.
Yo, I'm good too. I'm coming here for the second time, maybe, if you remember me.
Yes, I do. Yes. Yes, from South Africa. Yes.
Yeah. I'm saying like I have discovered something about this thing that happened to me since they took me and they teach me how to fly, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello. Yes. It seems like now I fly every day, like inside my dream. I have this power now. I can fly on my own. I can balance on air. But before they teach me how to fly, I wasn't fly. I was maybe fly and drop down, fly and drop down. See, maybe something is chasing me or something like that. I will fly and drop down. You see, the power is not there enough. I wasn't know how to balance. Now I can balance.
Right.
I can fly. I can fly, maybe go somewhere, and even some people, maybe 3 people or 2 people can hold my feet, okay? And I can fly. I can never maybe feel they are heavy or what. No, I can fly.
Oh, good.
And yeah, and there is this dream, like it happens 2 days ago.
Hmm.
Like I was flying there on the dream, but there were pictures that they were swiping on my mind. Maybe I can choose anyone I want to see. It was like I don't know
Yeah.
what I can call
We,
this
we
thing
would
because
call
the
that, and we would call that, my friend Taz is right. It's called, and matter of fact, can you come on tonight? Because I really have to sign off the show. Will you be able to come on tonight?
what time?
11 o'clock Eastern. I'm in the United States, so I'm not sure what time in Africa that would be in South Africa, but it's 11 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast of the U.S.
Okay,
I'll be
okay.
on tonight.
I will try and check you.
Okay, we'll get you on tonight because I wish I had more time. We're just running out of time. We appreciate it. We'll have you on tonight, Angel, okay?
Oh, okay.
And I
Thank you
want to
so much.
talk about it. We'll get into it, yep.
Okay,
Usually I don't do this, but I really don't have a lot of time. Folks, I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll be on tonight at 11 p.m. Taz, thank you for mentioning that. And that would be actually quite right. That I remember when I was a kid, I used to see myself flying around my neighborhood in a nice blue sky. And I have talked about it once in a while. Johnny, everybody, all my moderators, everybody take care. Have a great day today. It's Thursday. Be kind to everybody. Spread your light everywhere. And remember, keep your eyes to the skies because you never know what you're going to see unless you look up, right? Taz, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate it, brother. Everybody take care. I'm going to get out of here. And we'll catch you again tonight at 11 o'clock for the #1 spiritual UFO talk show on any social media. And we will bust the matrix together. Take care, everybody.